Hi everyone, I'm super excited to have you back here in class today. And today's class we are going to be looking at sewing tools and equipment. This video is going to teach you about the meaning of sewing equipment, the various types and uses, and guidelines you need to follow when choosing equipment and tools for sewing. So get your books and let's learn. What are sewing tools and equipment? These are tools that we use in different clothing construction. Now we have them in various categories. We have the measuring tools in sewing. Examples are the tape roll used to take measurements. We also have the French curve and the rulers, the hip ruler, and so many of them. Then we have the hem marker to get the accurate hem. Now let's take a look at marking tools. Under marking tools we have the fabric marking pen, the tracing wheel, the tailor's chalk, and then we have the ordinary thread. All of these are used to make marks on the fabric after measurements have been taken. I'm sure you're familiar with the tailor's chalk. Now let's see cutting tools used in sewing. So the tools and equipment for cutting, we have the scissors and the shears. The shears are used majorly when cutting the fabric, and you find the tailor using the scissors while sewing to probably cut off the thread. But what is the purpose of the stitch ripper? The stitch ripper is used to lose or cut out stitches that have been wrongly sewn together rather than using a blade. Now we also have the sewing equipment for stitching. We have the dressmaker's pin, we have the pin cushion or emery bag, and we have needles. Now let's talk a bit about needles. Needles comes in different sizes and types. We have the sharp needle, which is mostly used for hand sewing. We have the needle called between. It's a short needle with a small eye. We also have the crewel and embroidery needle. We have machine needles. Now when you use needles, especially for hand sewing, you need a thimble. This is what a thimble looks like. A thimble is used to protect the hand while sewing. And then we have the sewing machine. There are various kinds of sewing machines. At a later video, we'll learn more about sewing machines. As you can see, the various types of sewing machines we have. And then we also have the sewing thread. Yes, the sewing thread comes in various sizes and colors. Now, for all of these sewing tools, you definitely need a sewing bag or a box. So the sewing bag is a special container used for packing the small sewing equipment tools such as the thread, the chalk, and so on and so forth. Now when the box is used, items should be orderly arranged in it. The sewing kit is a collection of tools you have in your sewing box or bag. And your sewing bag should always be kept neat and in a place where you can easily reach for it. Now when you want to choose sewing tools and equipment, what are the guidelines you need to bear in mind? You need to choose tools and equipment with smooth edges to prevent snagging in the fabric. The tool should be accurate and easy to read. You also need to choose a tape measure that would not fray or stretch, for example, a plastic tape. Then choose equipment that will not leave permanent marks on your fabric. Choose cutting equipment such as scissors that would not rust easily. And ensure your equipment have good and durable handles. And last but not the least, when you're sewing with a sewing thread, ensure that your sewing thread matches whatever you're doing. So that's it guys on sewing tools and equipment. I hope you've learned a lot from the video, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye.